So after the break, we are here. I hope you also had some kind of tea session with you people. And now, after this short break, we will be speaking on the benefits of time management. That if we manage the time properly, effectively, what kind of benefit will come to us? The very first major benefit which comes to us is increased efficiency or productivity. Not many people realize the value of the time, as I said in the very beginning itself. If people had valued their times, they would have become the winners, but winners are too few, hardly 1%. Rajkumar is asking how to open sharing file. Let my support staff come and we'll share it shortly. Just bear with us. So the question is that if productivity goes up, there is every chance that we become the winners. Now, effectiveness and efficiency. Invariably, we are using these two terminologies. But is there a difference between the two? A very clear difference was given by management guru Peter Drucker. He said efficiency means doing the things in right manner. It means here the question of values do not arise. For example, in a biscuit factory, in a particular time slot, say in 1 minute, 100 biscuit packets are being produced. And yesterday also I think I spoke a little bit on this one. And if this so-called capacity is being increased without putting in the extra money or efforts to 120 per minute, that means our machineries have become more efficient, or more productive usage or more efficient usage of machine comes into picture. It means the efficiency of those machineries have gone up from say 100 pieces per minute to 120 pieces per minute. Similar example is for us also, as I think yesterday I said that if our typing speed is 30 and if we increase it through practice to the 40, it means our efficiency has also gone up. Effectiveness is a much bigger term. I said efficiency is doing things in right manner, whereas the effectiveness lies with the human beings in doing right things. Right things means objective right, truthful right. It means moralistically you are right. Whatever decision you are taking, whatever steps you are taking, they are right steps, they are truthful steps. Because it's doing right things. Now, which are those right things? Our parents in the very childhood, they also teach us that speaking lies is bad. We should all speak truth. What is being taught is a value system. And this value system brings us the effectiveness. A human being becomes more effective only when he has the value system attached with that one, where he has the objective right with him, not the subjective right. If anything, if any truth can be subjective, it means my truth is different from your truth. It means that is not the truth. Truth is only one. Like sun in the sky, that's the truth. It cannot have two meanings. It doesn't mean that your sun is different and my sun is different. No. So that is the objectivity and that is the right thing. So on two counts we can increase our effectiveness, efficiency. That one, whatever the delivery system we have got to perform or conform to any given standards, quality standards, that we can do. And second part is that are we doing it with a moral stand, with the values intact? For example, I'll say, if a question is being asked to someone that please do this job, and he say, no, I won't do. Now it can have many implied meanings. When somebody says, no, I won't do it, it can have many implied meanings. One meaning can be that this person doesn't know how to do it. Yes. This person doesn't know how to do it. So it's a question of skill sets. That person is not skilled enough or competent enough to perform this job. So he said no. The second meaning of same no can be that no, I won't do it. It means I know how to do the job, but I won't do it. I know how to do it, but I won't do it. It means it's a question of ego. That despite knowing the fact, you are saying no, I won't do it. Now there is a third implied meaning of this no. This can be that yes, I know how to do it, but my values, my moral stand says that I shall not do it, because I find that this particular job or task which is given to me is immoral in the nature. In the first instance, what has happened? The skill sets were not there. In the second case, the person has outrightly refused to do it because he had the ego problem, attitude problem, and in third set, there is a values problem, that my values do not allow me to perform this particular task or this particular thing. So there can be three meanings of this one, but this third meaning is very important because this is effectiveness. Here, a person or a man gets tested. We are talking about efficiency and effectiveness, and we are talking about time management and its benefits. If you manage it, productivity goes up, effectiveness goes up, efficiency goes up, and what comes down is a stress factor. Now stress, who's not facing it? Each one of us has this factor in the life. But is stress only negative in the nature? It can be positive also. Because when you are going for, say, for fun's sake, a roller coaster ride, or maybe you're going for some trekking or mountaineering, there are also some stress is there, but that is peaceful and pleasant stress, you can say, which you can bear actually. But once this stress is unbearable beyond your given capacity, and everyone has got a different capacity, then it starts causing the damage to you, your brain, your heart, your body, your muscles, everything gets affected. And this particular stress can come from internal sources or external sources. Now, external sources are basically a huge, vast ocean of problems, whether marketing or sales or office or international boundaries or international conflicts or domestic conflicts or law and order situation, or maybe the people don't have jobs, so there is stress, or if there is a job, then conditions are very bad, or the remuneration or salaries are not proper, or timings are not proper. There can be a number of reasons. And then internal stress can be also that you are not well, you are not keeping fine, or maybe you are suffering on certain accounts, or maybe any other reason. So how does stress, either internal or external, has an impact on us? Because the benefits of so-called time management will accrue to we people only when we are able to manage the stress. And if we can't manage, then there is a huge problem. But I personally feel that if you are doing a job of your choice, you feel pleased with your job or a profession or something you are undertaking, then your stress level automatically goes down. If you ask Shah Rukh Khan what he would like to do, and he'll say that I know only acting, that's my passion, that's my life, and I'm doing that. And that brings the joy. That reduces the stress. So sometimes when we are into the wrong job, a job which creates stressful conditions, or maybe the home environment is not very conducive, or maybe n number of reasons, but there is an impact, and these impacts can be varied in the nature. They can have cognitive symptoms, they can have emotional symptoms, they can have physical symptoms, they can also have, you can say, some other kind of symptoms, and let's just check them one by one. Stress causes the problem for our brain, for our thinking, for our attitude. It creates a problem for your memory and memory retention. It also creates the problem where we are not able to concentrate on the things. Think when you are under tension and you have to do some job in office or at home. Are you able to concentrate? Invariably the answer will be no, and you will be lost into some other state. And this so-called stress also leads to poor judgments. It means basically, mentally, you are not in a position to have a good judgment or not even a good decision making. It means your most of decisions or judgment go wrong because you are under stress. Under stress, you can't think much. Then, when you are under stress, you stop seeing the positive. You become least hopeful. You lose on optimism. You lose on hope. And then you start seeing the things which are negative in the nature. Negative people, negative events, negative happenings. Everything is negative. Just because there is a tension in the mind. You don't feel that there is something good happening to you. Everything seems that bad is coming to me. And then you become anxious. Now this anxiety, worries, these things are dangerous for your body, for your brain. How many times you have gone through the cases which appear in the newspapers or maybe in the society, in your social circle, in your families, that a person has got a brain stroke. Person suffers from brain hemorrhage. What we sometimes call in Hindi, nas phat gaya. These things to happen. And these things to happen due to certain kinds of pressures, anxieties, worries, or maybe stresses, which has a impact on your cognitive abilities, and then your brain also gets impacted badly or adversely. And in this way, you lose a sense of decision making and making a judgment. You lose the sense of concentration because your memory and other parts of brain do not assist you or help you or support you. And then constantly you are worrying about certain things. It can be money problem. It can be relationship problem. It can be children problem, job problem, security conditions, or maybe law and order situation, which may cause anxiety and worries. So these tensions, these stresses can prove fatal as far as cognitive conditions are concerned. Similarly, there are physical symptoms of high level of stress. We have the body pains and aches. We have diarrheas or constipation. We have the nausea or dizziness. We lose the sex drive. We have the chest pain or rapid heartbeats. And we have the frequent colds or cough. So how many times we do suffer on this count? sometime in the train, sometime in the flight, sometime in railway station, sometime on the bus stop, sometime on the street. You find somebody suffering, and then he's just racing against the time, and then his heartbeat goes up and they lose their life also. They get the, you can say, heart stroke, the heart fails, and by the time the medical assistant arrives or they are being taken to the hospital, they are no more. So these things are happening, and we have seen in last about 30-40 years time, the stress levels have gone up many times in many societies. I'll not say just in Indian society, in many societies. However, such kind of things are with a lesser frequency in developed nations like Australia, New Zealand, America, England, Germany, France. The longevity is more there, 75, 80, 90, 95. Whereas in India, longevity is hardly 67, 68 years. And maybe physically we are not as fit as the Europeans or Australians are or Americans are. There may be various reasons, but this is known fact that our so-called the fitness levels or physical levels are quite poor comparing to the developed nations people. And then there are problems with the lifestyles also. And these problems of lifestyle, like irregular sleep, long working hours, lesser time for yourself, for your family, lesser quality times for kids and wife or maybe spouse, or maybe any number of you can say factors which can come into picture, and they can cause such kind of anxieties. But still we can simplify the things. We can avoid certain things like fast foods which are having a lot of, you can say, cholesterol bearing, you can say, contents. We can also avoid certain other things as far as our eating is concerned. We can walk more so that we have a healthy lifestyle. But somehow Indian subcontinent, where the Pakistan and Bangladesh are also there, the health standards are comparatively far lower comparing to the developed nations. We have the emotional symptoms that being a counselor and a kind of psychologist myself, many people do come to me. An astrologer, yes I am. So still the people come to me for consultation. And it's my observation that 80% of the cases which are coming to me, either from males or females, they're basically the problems of relationships. A second number, it's of health. That relationships are causing or working as emotional drain for the couples, whether married or non-married, whether they're into relationship, this kind or that kind of, or live-in relationships. And we have found through our experience for many years or rather decades that relationship problems are huge in the nature. Compatibility problem, ego problem, attitudinal problems, problems of commitment towards each other, and n number of other trivial matters, small things which create a difference between the couple. Hardened attitude creates tension and the stresses, and they get reflected on their emotional setup. People become more moody. Attitude-wise, they become more negative. They become short-tempered. Irritability is there. Even sometimes in my classrooms when I'm teaching the students, I do ask them when they do the SWOT analysis that let me know what kind of weaknesses you have got. And sometimes some of the boys or girls, they do stand up and say this: we are short-tempered. We get angry on any small trivial matter actually. That's the nature. But it can be changed. It's a behavior. It's basically a branch of communication. The behavior pattern. Can it be improved? Yes, it can be improved. Can it be changed? Yes, it can be changed. Is it changeable? Yes, it is changeable. There is no doubt. Then some people's mind is extremely agitated. Have you seen that if, suppose, some issue is being talked about and there are 10 people sitting there, or maybe one person gets agitated quite easily on a very small matter, whereas other people remain silent. It happens. It's a very normal thing. And some other people on a very serious issue, still they remain calm and patient. Some people under the emotions, you can say, they get overwhelmed. They feel a sense of loneliness, isolation, depression, unhappiness, sad. So these are the symptoms. And then people may eat more or less. They may sleep less. They may have the sleep tablets also. They may postpone the things. Negative thought process takes the shape. And then they resort to the alcohol or cigarettes or drugs. Nervous habits are there, nail biting or pacing or something else. So in a way I can say this stress can be a great factor. If it is positive stress, it can bring you happiness and joy, excitement. If it is negative stress, as we talked about symptoms here, they can prove fatal. They can create havoc in the people's life. But if we do manage the time properly, where things which are important, things which has values, things which are, you can say, should be given the priority. If you keep these small things in the mind and plan accordingly, I think we can succeed very easily. I have seen even myself that coming from a rural background, hinterland, and from Hindi medium person, the person who came up and then a person like me then wrote the English books also, then there was a growth. And apart from being you can say celebrity astrologer and Vastu experts and motivational speaker, author, I also won ₹1 crore on a TV show, general knowledge based show, Poker Face, in 2009. So those videos are also available on I think YouTube. So in that way I have been fortunate enough because I could manage the time effectively, and I could manage it efficiently also, both ways. So I managed the time in such a way that I could deliver, or I could perform, or I could conform in a productive and pleasant manner. So when I speak or write or consult the people, it gives me joy because it is not a burden on me. Then if we are organized, if we have the proper, you can say, planning and prioritization, then the time management is an effective tool which can reduce your stress, or rather your life can become stress-free. Or maybe if there is a stress, it can be least once. Maybe if I face a stress while traveling in Mumbai, one place to other place, that I have to just keep time in my hand because it may take 1 hour, it may take 1.5 hours, it may take 2 hours to just travel in a cab or my own car to reach a destination. There's a choke-block traffic is there, and sometimes when we have to reach in time, and luckily I had never missed my flight also, but not many people do miss the flights also. So that can be a reason for stress also. Now time management and concepts, here we'll have a brief overview of Stephen Covey and Peter Drucker. About the Peter Drucker, I have said that he gave us the meaning of effectiveness and efficiency, and these are the things which are extremely important in our personal and professional life. If we are able to distinguish between the two factors, effectiveness and efficiency, and value it, I can assure you that you can easily manage your life, and your productivity and effectiveness is bound to go up, and you will be a winner. You cannot be a loser then. Peter Drucker has also said that effectiveness is ensuring that you are working on the right thing, while efficiency focuses on performing that task in a productive manner. Same thing which I explained to you. And then he also suggested that you need to pinpoint your starting point, that you are starting from here, and then where exactly you have traveled in 1 week, what exactly you have performed, what you have delivered, what you have achieved, whom you have met, what were those meetings, the phone calls and the reports and this and that, everything. It means if you note down and then every week you try to compare it with yourself, and you will find that it will give you a clear picture that how you have fared, badly or in a nice manner. And here you can easily find out the time wasters, that where exactly time has been wasted, and maybe in the coming weeks, if I replan the things or reprioritize the things, maybe there will be improvement in my levels of productivity. And it's so easy actually. It's not difficult. You have to just reduce the time wasters. It means you'll be having more productive time in your hand then. Then Stephen Covey, who wrote the famous book 7 Habits of Highly Effective People and gave the 7 principles, he gave a very important principle of clock and compass. Clock, he said, is our commitments, our appointments, our meetings, our schedules, our goals, our objectives, our activities, our methodologies. Everything is symbolized by a clock. Compass, magnetic compass, which shows you north. Now, it's a very faithful instrument. You keep it in a mountain or sea or the plain or land, anywhere. It never cheats you. It never misguides you. Everywhere it shows you true north, where exactly it is. It never gives you wrong north. So, what is compass? Stephen Covey compared the magnetic compass, which never misguides a person for the directions, is like our value system, our vision, our principles, our mission, our direction of life. So it means the clock is your daily methodologies, or maybe your goals and objectives and commitments and appointments and meetings and turnovers and revenues and money, whereas the magnetic compass is equated to your vision and mission statements of life. It is also about your so-called principles of the life, your direction of the life. In his one of the points, first thing first. What should come first in the life? A clock or a compass? What is more valuable? Think over it. Is it the compass or the clock? What comes first? Is a meeting or goals or objectives or a value system? Stephen Covey was also greatly influenced by Mahatma Gandhi. And he deeply believed in the theory of Mahatma Gandhi's servant leadership and a value system. And I personally believe the very first thing, very top priority in the life is value system, your truthfulness. And then comes so-called secondary items, which you call appointments and goals and objectives, your jobs and business and this and that. If your value system is clear, you're clear in your mind, if you have a nice vision and a mission, then it means the directions you will be heading for will be absolutely right. And that time you will know that the staircase you have got is lying towards the right wall. Hope you're getting it. And then he also gave, in the domain of time management, the 4 generations of time. How he explained these 4 generations? In first generation, he said, they're more like reminders and go with the flow. It is something, a generation is characterized by notes and checklists. That what I'm going to do, what I'm going to deliver, how I'm going to do. So, earliest form you can say, it was basically the notes and checklist. If tasks are not accomplished today, then you can put them on the list tomorrow. It means if today something is left, then put that item on top to be completed by tomorrow morning or tomorrow afternoon. Second generation time management concept he explained in the form of planning and preparation. It is noted on the calendars and appointment books. You have a planner, you have a calendar where you note down the things, that yes, we have to manage the time in this manner, or the managers or leaders or the people in general will be having these kind of priorities in the life, because it promotes your efficiency levels, your personal responsibility and achievements and goal setting and all kind of things which are related with the planning systems. They work wonderfully for you. The third generation which comes into the picture also brings the, along with the planning, the prioritizing and controlling. It means how to organize the things, how to control the things. It means you ask yourself, what do I want? So you set short-term and long-term goals and attain these values. And sometimes it's characterized by the wide variety of planners and organizers. So it's basically, you can say, electronic as well as the paper set. You can put it on a diary also, you can put on a computer system. This I'm going to do. But the most important is the fourth generation as far as this time domain given by Stephen Covey is concerned. He said, it is people's paradigm. It's people who come first. Everything else comes second. He says, leadership comes first, management comes later on. Effectiveness comes first, efficiency comes later on. Purpose comes first, structures comes later on. Vision comes first, and methods or methodologies comes later on. It's people focus, it's people oriented, it's people who are important. It is not the machines, it is not the methodology, it is not the goals, it is not the objectives, it is not the planning and the priorities. It's the people, it's the value system. If value system is in place, then definitely things can be done very easily. That's one reason that somewhere Stephen Covey's values or Stephen Covey's thought process is deeply influenced by scriptures, maybe of any religion, because all the scriptures speak on the same line, on the same kind of sermons are there. So after that, we'll be explaining the 8 different management approaches which are given by Stephen Covey in the context of time management, and we are going to take up now this one by one.